You cancel plans and feel relief instead of guilt. Friday night arrives, and while everyone else is heading out, you stay in. You reorganize a bookshelf, you sit in silence, you scroll without urgency, and you are genuinely okay with that. You tell people you're an introvert, but that explanation never fully fits. Sometimes you enjoy people. Sometimes you're even magnetic in a room. But when you get home, close the door, and the noise drops, it feels like you can finally breathe. There's a moment after the door shuts, shoes still on, phone face down, and you exhale in a way you didn't realize you were holding. Not because the day was hard, but because being on was. There is a quiet moment most people rush to escape. When the notifications stop, the room goes still, and there's no one left to perform for. For many, that silence feels threatening, but for you, it's where the mask finally comes off. This isn't about hating people. It's about how your nervous system learned to find safety. Most people think solitude is a preference. For some of us, it's a repair mechanism. Your brain learned that being alone is where you stop performing, where you stop managing other people's emotions, where you stop translating yourself into a version that feels acceptable. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's the absence of emotional labor. When you're alone, your brain's default mode network activates. This is the system responsible for self-reflection and meaning-making. While the world thinks you're doing nothing, your mind is integrating experiences instead of reacting to them, sorting, reframing, repairing. That's why forced busyness feels draining, but chosen stillness feels restorative. For some, this comfort begins early. As kids, you didn't crave constant stimulation because your inner world was already alive. Silence wasn't empty, it was full. For others, solitude was learned through exhaustion, years of relationships that required constant emotional output, always being available, always being attuned. Eventually, being alone stopped feeling like withdrawal and started feeling like sanctuary. Different origins, same outcome. Silence became safe. Think about how many people say they feel most like themselves when no one is watching. That's what happens when identity has always required an audience to approve it first. Social interaction, even healthy interaction, requires calibration. You read faces, you manage impressions, you monitor how you land. But when you're alone, the test ends. You are the most predictable person in your life. You know your rhythms. You know that if you're alone tonight, you won't have to wonder if you're too much or not enough. The math is simple. The outcome is guaranteed. But here's the uncomfortable part most people skip. Solitude can quietly turn into control. When you're alone, nothing unexpected can hurt you. No misinterpretation, no rejection, no emotional ambush. Psychology draws a thin line here. Healthy solitude is chosen. It restores you. Defensive isolation is driven by fear. It protects you, but at a cost. The difference shows up in desire. People who are healthily comfortable alone still want connection. They just don't chase it to feel whole. They don't use people to regulate their worth. When nothing can reach you, nothing can hurt you, but nothing can meet you either. You're not avoiding life. You're conserving energy in a world that demands constant output. You're not cold. You're careful about where your warmth goes. And the paradox is this. The more at home you become with yourself, the less you need connection to feel valid, which is exactly why when you do connect, it's real. So when you see someone content in their own silence, don't assume something is missing. Some people aren't hiding. They're resting in a place most people are too afraid to sit with.